Good evening, everyone. If you can hear me loud and clear, please indicate. If you can hear me loud and clear, please let me know. Only one person can hear me from the class. Okay, two now. Okay, thank you. I'm not going to waste our time today. That is, it's very, very difficult to take a break between lectures. The best way is to always complete everything at once. Like when we did our all our lectures, we should have finished everything at once. But the break that we took, I know it's a big discouragement. I know how it works, even for me as a teacher. It's hard to come back to it today. I wanted to come back yesterday. I was prepared yesterday, and then Steve had to let me know that he also moved his own class to yesterday. So I have to wait for him today. So I hope that didn't affect other people. Anyway, for our last class today, I'm going to teach us BDD. Most of us must have heard about BDD, behavioral driven development. What is behavioral driven development? So if you can guess it, so it is a behavior that determines how the application is built, and the behavior here is about how we interact with other people in the development stages. So because of the problem in the past, let me go to this slide. So in the past, I didn't cover them, sorry. So in the past, there's so much misconception in the development environment. So you can have a requirement, and that requirement can be interpreted in many ways. Okay, so somebody can say that I want a client can say that I want a shopping basket in my application. That is a very, very high level requirement. Not very, very high level, but in the shopping basket sense, is a high level, because a shopping basket can just mean that you can just buy something and pay and go. A shopping basket can mean that you can save something in your basket and come back to it later. A shopping basket can mean that you can pay by just Visa or with MasterCard or with PayPal. A shopping basket can mean that you can pay without registering. Some can mean that you have to register before you pay, So those things are not clear. Those things always bring problem in the development and testing environment when the application is not the requirement is not very, very clear. So like this elephant now is a very big creation. The man who is standing on top of it, who is sitting on top of it, when they asked him what he saw, he said he saw a fan. And the guy here only saw a spear. You can't blame him. This guy here he said he saw a snake. And this guy here saw a tree. And this guy saw a wall. And so on and so forth. And this guy at the back saw something else. So that is why we have BDD. So BDD is a framework that combines business and technology together, skills together, to develop software. And what do we mean by that? So the first thing that you do when you get your job as a tester and you are working in a BDD environment, before they build any code, they write test first. It's kind of similar to test-driven environment development. They write the test first before they build the code, and the test will be written in plain English language, even though they are technical words. They are keywords. They are not ordinary words in the sense of ordinary words. But even in a naive person will be able to understand what is to be built by those code. So tests are explained as a behavior of the application and is more user focused. And who is going to write this test? And we call that test, we call it a feature file. Who can write it? Anybody can write it. That is the answer. Anybody from the business owner can write it. The business analyst can write it. Even the tester can write it. In fact, some of you are going to be applying for jobs in a BDD framework company. As part of your technical test, they will ask you to write feature files. That has happened in many circumstances. So, how do we implement BDD? Well, let's talk about features of the BDD. BDD is shifting. I've already explained all of this. Shifting from thinking in test to thinking in behavior. There's collaboration between business stakeholders, business analysts, all the stakeholders basically. The language is easy. There's no jargons, and it's driven by because of the business. We want the business to be involved in how we build our software. And BDD framework can be implemented with Cucumber or JBehave. If you are using Java, it's mostly Cucumber. And if you are using C#, you'll be using JBehave as the bridge between business and technical language. And we'll get to that stage in a minute. So, what is Cucumber? Because we are using Java, we'll be using Cucumber. So, Cucumber, I don't mean this Cucumber that is here, not this very one. So, that one, we all know that one. But the Cucumber I'm talking about is a testing framework which supports behavior-driven development. Let me see if I can give you the link to the website. Sorry, I'm not knackered too. So that's it. Cucumber Hayo. So you can go ahead and visit the Cucumber website, all of you, after the class or whenever you are ready. You'll find more information about Cucumber, and more importantly, you find information about how to use them at work. It's very, very useful, even sometimes when we are working, because you can't learn everything at once, and you come across something that you don't understand. Come back to the people that owns it. Look at the companies that are using them. All these people, they use Cucumber as part of their application, how they build the application. PayPal use it. PayPal is a very robust one. They use it. Ministry of Justice use it. So if you want to build something that is clear, something that is user-friendly, use Cucumber. So, right. That's the website. So, Cucumber is a testing framework which supports behavior-driven development. It lets us define application behavior in plain, meaningful English tests using a simple grammar defined by a language called Gherkin. So, Cucumber is written in Ruby, but you can use it in Java, like I said, C# too. However, in most cases, they prefer JBehave for C#. But in Java, definitely Cucumber, and for Python as well. So what is Gherkin then? So because we said we use a plain language called a Gherkin language. Gherkin also is a simple language. It's lightweight. It uses English, proper English that we speak. And that language is available in 30 languages, but there are keywords that we use in Gherkin that will help us to write our tests before we begin to define our scenarios. So I will get to that in a minute as well. On the slide, as you know, you will get the slide at the end of the class. So, moving on. Before we use Gherkin, we need to install some other software. One of them is installed. We need to install the Cucumber Eclipse plugin. Okay, and then this is the instruction on how to do it. Let me open our thing. So you already know. I already taught you something similar when we installed our test ng. So you have to come is go to the help and you say install new software, and then you click on add. You write the name Cucumber, and when you write Cucumber, you copy the address, the URL here, which is where the software is residing. Cucumber GitHub, Cucumber Eclipse, update, and you click OK. So once you click on OK, it will take you to the next and next and next and finish page. I have it on my own system, which is why I'm not downloading it right now. So that's the first thing that we need. We also need what we call dependencies. So because the Cucumber framework it can be found in different pieces of software, and the reason why they separate them is because you can use Cucumber for a whole lot of things as well, apart from this BDD. But to use it for BDD, you need this compulsory 5 dependencies. We call them dependencies because that framework depends on them. So there's something we call Cucumber core. There's something we call Cucumber Java, Cucumber JUnit, Cucumber JVM repackaged dependencies, and what we call the Gherkin itself. So you can actually type it in Google. However, for example, you can say Cucumber core, but because as you know, Google is a search engine, it can take you to many places. So I recommend that you go to this very repository, this very one at the top here. See, like you can see, it's in GitHub as well. It will be in many places. So the best thing, there's what we call MVN repository. Is Maven. So they kept, in fact, even our Selenium standalone, you can find it on this page as well. So what you need to do is to go to mvnrepository.com. Let's say you're at home now. This is if you go to MVM. There are millions of applications here that are sitting on this repository. If you're looking for something that even the owners have deprecated, you will still find it on this website. So just type in Cucumber core. That's the first one. Cucumber core, okay. And make sure you have the latest one for this Cucumber core. So the one from Hi-O Cucumber, okay. Or there's one we call Info Noobs. Yeah, this one here, but this one is old, as you can see, 2016. So download, click on this one. This is how you do it. And then when you click on it, click on the latest one, 4.26. And then there are many ways of copying it. For example, if you are using Maven, you have to copy all of this. But if you are not using Maven, we are using Java project. So you copy the jar one, the jar file. Just click on the jar file, it will download, as you can see there. So after Cucumber core, you go to and take note of the version 4.26. The reason why I said that is that the first three dependencies, try and make them the same version, because in the past I have experienced issues when they are not the same versions. So 4.26 is this one now. So that's the Cucumber core. So now go to Cucumber JUnit. And then you will find it too as well. So the IO one, just try to keep them the same version if possible. You will see that they will say testing frameworks. You see already, they already categorize it. So click on the 426 for this guy, download the jar, okay? And then the last one in that category is the Cucumber Java. Cucumber Java. And then the reason why I'm showing you is that if I don't show you, even though you click on it, you might not know which one to download. So if you click on 426 again, get the jar, because you're not using Gradle, you're not using SBT, you're not using Grape, you're not using Maven, you're using jar files. So click on jar file and save it. And then the fourth one is Cucumber JVM. Cucumber JVM, that's what we call it, JVM repackaged dependencies. Um, so this one here at the top is the most recent one, 2017. So just click on it. The 106. This one is straightforward. Get the jar. Not you don't need the POM file. The POM file is also for Maven. So just get the jar file. Okay, and then the last one in this category is Gherkin itself. But the Gherkin is very tricky. The Gherkin gave us headache many times. This is the one for JBA, but we just need the one for this application. So you click on it, you will see recent versions, but they don't work. They don't work. So my advice, which is very important, is for you to type Gherkin 2.12. I think that's the one that work. Gherkin 2.12. Let's try this one here. So this is it. This is the one that work. This 2.12 version. So get that one and make sure you get the jar file, not the POM file. The one that says .jar alone here, not .java .jar, just .jar. So jar file. All right. Once you get those software, you know what to do exactly. I know you know what to do. If you like, you can keep them in your download folder. That's up to you. But best practice is to put them together where you can easily access them. You know that we have our software folder. So look at mine now. For example, I have my Cucumber core. So this is when I had them last year June, and these are the versions I have. Cucumber core, Cucumber Java, Cucumber JUnit. They are the same version. JVM dependency 106, and the Gherkin is 2.12, as you can see here. So go to your download file folder and cut them out. Download folder, cut all of them out, and put them in that folder, and then you are good to go. So once we have them, we can now begin to write our test in that framework. Okay, I hope that is clear so far. Guys, so far I hope that's clear. Please communicate with me. This one you will need it. That's why I've taken the time. You will need BDD 100%. The entire organizations, they are changing. Even those ones that are not using it right now, they are looking for ways to implement it because it is very simple and understandable. We are going to work on this. We are going to use this example tonight. So, but we'll get there in a minute, okay? So, the three things that you need to do to implement a you know that for example, let me go to our environment. Sorry, I saw a new name here tonight. I don't know. Miranda Cowan. I've never seen that student in our class, in all our session. I don't know who that is. Okay. I hope you're in the right class, Miranda. Alright, let's continue anyway. So you know that for our other test cases, for example, the Yahoo login application, all we needed is a requirement. And immediately when we get to our requirement, we begin to code. No. Oh, Jamie, I never knew, but she never attended all the classes that we had. I only saw her for the first time in this very class. Anyways. In the BDD framework, we don't just do that. What we do is different. We write something we call a feature file. The feature file, as I said earlier on, you can get to work and you will already have a feature file straight away. And some other time, it is you that will expect to write the feature file from the requirement. But in most cases, as I've said, that the purpose of BDD is to improve collaboration between business owners and the developers. So they want to know what you are doing. They want to be able to tell you what to do in a very simple, plain language. So in most cases, right these days, what you will have is the business themselves writing a feature file for you. After you write the feature file, you now write what we call step implementation. So basically, in a plain language, what that means is that you will transform that, like we said the test is written first before development. So the feature file is like a requirement. You will now transform that feature file into steps. You execute it basically. You will transform that requirement into a solution. And then you will now create a runner. So that runner will help you to run the test itself. So let's just do those 3 steps quickly, and let's see if we can go into any general advice, As today is our last class, as you know. I wanted it to be more interesting, but we'll just do our best. Okay. Now, so Yahoo login application again, which is easier for us to use in the class. Otherwise, if we use something complicated, they're not going to finish and nobody will benefit. So what they want us to do here, they want us to state that people can log in into Yahoo application. So for BDD, the first thing we do, we'll transform this into a feature file. How do we do that? On our project itself, let's right click. And now let's just create a file. A folder, normal folder. And that folder, let's just call it features. Yeah. That should do. And then inside this features folder, let's right click it and create. Let's just create. Now notice this, we are creating a file now. It's a file, and this file will be called Yahoo login. Yahoo login. But the important bit is the ending dot. You have to say dot feature. If you don't say dot feature, it won't be a feature file, and it won't inherit the attributes of a feature file. It won't be executable. So make sure that you end it with dot feature. Let's click OK. So because we already ended with dot feature, yeah, it will generate the template for us. So that Yahoo login feature that we created now generated a template for us. And that template that generated for us is telling us all the keywords in Gherkin, all of them. So it's telling you, if you want to use the keyword author, just write at author, and then write your email or your domain, whatever. It's telling you that there's a keyword called keywords. There's summary, and it's telling you their meaning. It's a feature, means list of scenarios. Scenario means business rule through list of steps with arguments, giving me some preconditions. Okay, when you create it, copy all this okay, actually what I'm going to do now, let me do this. Let me copy it and send it as part of tonight's documentation. Okay, come on, go back, control C. Let me copy it now and save it. I'll just cut it because I don't need it. So I'll send that to you tonight. So you will see what each keyword means. Okay, that will save you some time. So what we're going to do in this particular scenario from the Yahoo login scenario. So what we're going to do now is we're going to transform this requirement into a feature file. How do we do that? So if you notice that the main feature in this requirement is for users to be able to log in, isn't it? It doesn't talk about logout. It doesn't talk about compose message. It doesn't talk about read message. So the main feature, if you agree with me, that's how you look at features or scenarios. This test is about logging in. Simple as that. So we say we use the keyword feature. So here we write the word feature. It's already in the syntax I'm sending to you. You will see them. So the feature of this file is to test that user can log in. You can describe it anyhow you understand it. Log in into the Yahoo email application with correct login details. Yeah. So the first thing in the feature file is the feature of the file itself. What are you trying to achieve with this particular feature file? And then after that, you can do something like background. I don't know if you will need it, but I'm just teaching you to broaden your knowledge. Normally, you can just jump to the scenario straight away, but you can give a background information. So you can say background is a keyword as well. You can see it changed to kind of green, not green, but so you can say users must have created a Yahoo account. Of course, if you don't create account, how can you get to Yahoo login? So that's the background. And then the scenario, this scenario that we're testing, is that users should be able to log in, okay, with correct or valid username and password. So this is the particular scenario for this one that we're testing. If you want to test another scenario, you can always put more scenarios. You cannot put two features, only one feature in the file. However, you can have as many scenarios you want to. You can say user must not be able to log in with incorrect and correct password. or incorrect username, but the feature must be 1. And there's something they call scenario outline as well. When you get this today, try and go through it. You will find a lot of other keywords that we are not using tonight, but you can use it as long as you know the meaning. Sample, background, example, scenario outline. All the things you need basically are there. So, but for this code that I'm writing, there's no need for scenario outline. So what do we do now? The first thing we do again is called giving. So this giving, notice that it's proper grain. Don't put semicolon after it. It will give you an error. So just leave it open. Okay, giving that the user is on the Yahoo login page. Abi, where would they log in from? From Google login page? No. So you are giving them conditions now, preconditions. Given that the user is on the Yahoo login page, okay? We are translating this one. Remember, I say you should go open Google Chrome, launch this one, enter username, brought in BDD. This is what you will get from the business. They'll send you this particular document like this. You will now convert this document into your own test steps. We call it step implementation, but it means the same thing. So, given, and then you now say, when is also a keyword. You see, all these words, they are English plain words. You can understand, anybody can, even novice can understand it when they read it. And the user, okay, enters a valid username. That is the first step. And another keyword again. And the user enters. Sorry guys, I'm tired. I'm yawning. But I'm here with you. The user enters a valid password. And then what should happen? Look at this logic in this language. So we said that the user given, when, and. So what should that happen then? I already said it. Then, plain English language is logic. Then the user should be able to log in. So anybody from the business side can write this thing. They will write it to you when they send it to you. Are you telling me that this requirement is not clear enough? If you are working and they give you this requirement in these steps, in this language, will you be confused on what to do? Hello? Anyway, if you are working in a BDD environment, you'll be getting a lot of feature files. This is just Yahoo login. It could be Yahoo logout, Yahoo change password, Yahoo create account. So this is how they do it. This is the first step in the BDD framework. You create what we call a feature file. Okay. So it's telling us something. It's saying that we don't have a matching glue for these codes. So we'll get to that in a minute. So like I said, it's all 3 steps. So we'll create a feature file, okay? And then we now do what we call step implementation, okay? So the implementation bit It's a bit inconvenient, but it's essential to match it, because the whole point is that the business owner, they want to see what we are doing. They want to understand what we are doing. They don't want to see jargons when there's problem. They want to be able to read our code and get it clearly. That's the whole point of this collaboration of BDD. So that's why we're going to write the test in the way we're going to write it. It's going to be a pain. It is a pain actually, even at work. But we can make it. Let's do it now. So the next step, we're going to create a what we call step implementation. So let's just create, I think to make it cleaner, I'm going to create a package. I'll call this package BDD. Okay. And inside the BDD, I'll create a class. And I'll call the class Yahoo login BDD implementation. Call it implementation, because you are implementing the feature file. Just for you to understand. Okay. There's no need for public class, because we'll be using the Cucumber J unit. So we say okay, all right? So what do we do? First thing I would do to make it easy, let's go back to our feature file. Let's copy these 4 steps. We need them. So what do we do? Number one thing that we should do, all these steps, they'll become a method in their own right, because they are different functionalities, and each of them have to have a glue that will attach them. So what we do is I will convert them to methods. So how do we convert them to methods? Let me bring this down. And this is where I said that this is a pain, a little bit of a pain, but that's how they implement this framework. If you ever work in BDD, you'll find this very, very, very useful. So we create the public void. You know, in the past, we just create public void Yahoo login. But for this case, we are going to leave the name like this. This is the name of the method. It will be given that the username is on the Yahoo login page. Trust me, that's what it will be. Okay. Let me just copy it again, because we need it again. Remove the given. So, all right, how are we going to do that? So open the bracket here, close it, open the curly braces and close it. How we create our method. But the difference here is that we have to close, because we have many words. We use the underscore in between them to remove that error. It's a bit of a pain, but let's just do it. But that's how they do BDD. We didn't create it. If you want to work as a tester and you find yourself in BDD, although there might be slight difference in practices, but this is the best way. When the business owner that gave you, when they gave the person that gave you this requirement, if they come and see what you have done, by the time you give them your code like this, they understand. They have an idea that this code, this particular code, is trying to implement this line, this feature line. So this is our method. It's empty at the moment. And then remember that this particular one is given. You now bring the given, okay? So you will use the given annotations at given, okay? At given, and then you have to import this at given. So import it. You say cannot be. Okay, maybe I have to bring. Okay, don't worry. I know why. Just hold on. So what we do again? Remember how we bring our software into our classes, into our project. Let's right click on this particular guy here. I haven't bring down those things here. So you go to build part, and then you go to configure build part, and then you go to the library, go to the class part, the class part, say add external jars, okay, and then go to your software folder wherever you save it. So bring in a few things, not the Apache ones. Bring in Cucumber core, Cucumber Java, Cucumber JUnit, Cucumber JVM, and then Cucumber Gherkin. Bring in these 5 dependencies, okay, and then apply and close. So hopefully now, when we highlight on the given, it will now say import given Cucumber. So you can see that because we bring in that software, it's now allowing us to use it. So you import the given. It's not complete yet. The reason why it's giving us error is that you have to complete the attributes. So how do you contribute the attributes? You open and close the brackets, okay. Inside the bracket, you put an asterisk, and then you put the caret sign. Where's the caret on my computer actually? Yeah, 6. That's the caret sign, and then you paste the name of the method inside there. And when you do that, when you finish that, you close with the dollar sign, and then the asterisk sign, and that should be it. If we are correct. Okay, we have an error. Okay, no, that's not the asterisk sign. It should be quotation mark. My bad. Yeah, quotation mark, caret sign, the name of the method, dollar sign, close quotation. This is how you create any reference between this text and the vision file. And it's essential because the people that gave you this requirement, they want to see how you implement it. That is the whole point of the BDD framework. Okay, let's just crack on. I will repeat the same thing for all the other steps very, very quickly. So I will delete the when. I don't need the when actually. And I will copy this quickly. Let me do this fast because you have an idea of what I'm doing now. So all we do, and we see So this is when. Okay, I will import the when. Don't do that, please. Okay, I didn't put the at. That was me. At when from Cucumber, okay? Right. I was already bothered about that. Because I want us to finish that. I want to give us a couple of talk before we go. I don't want us to finish late. Well done for coming to class tonight, guys. It's not easy. I appreciate you all. But my prayer, the most important prayer is that all this sacrifice will be worth it for you very soon, by the grace of God. Because it's like sowing. You have sowed now. I pray that you will reap with joy. Let's make the screen smaller. I have no idea how to do that. Hold on, guys. The screen went too small. Alright, that's it. Okay, so what's happening with it? And we need to import the and also okay, so this is how we create the template. We haven't even written any code now. So now that we've written this we've parameterized each step. given when into their own method. So what's going to happen next? So how does the user get here? So it's the same thing from what we have been doing since. So what we have to do is to call our number one. Let's create a driver at the class level. Let's just create a web driver. Okay, web driver. Okay, and then we import the web driver class, and then here we say driver equals to, where's our driver again? Equals to code library. Yes, we remember that. Dot utilities dot open dot Chrome. Okay, so that Chrome must be a string. So that's the first step. So driver will open that guy, and then so to make this easy, let me just go to our Selenium and our Yahoo test. So after that, Java should go to this particular place. So that's the first step. Okay. So when you write your code and you send this back to the business owner that gave you requirements in feature file, they will look for the particular first line given that the user is on the Yahoo login page, and they will go to your implementation and they will see what you have done. Okay. So number two, so all we have to do here is just to get to the page. Number two, they need to enter a valid username. So which is this one here, though that's not correct though. And I'll tell you why in a minute. So we'll copy this one here. We copy the actual username at the top, which is training. Guys, are you still following me? Are we understanding this? Hello everyone. Are we together? Hello? Nobody's answering me. I'll be worried. I'll panic. Don't let me panic, please. I don't like to waste my time. I don't like to waste your time too. If you don't, ask me some question. I'm here for you. Even if it means extra time. Your understanding is very, very important to this framework. Okay. So then, if the user is able to log in, the last thing for the user to do is just to log out. So once it's logged in, no problem. You can verify something if you like, but for the purpose of this class, I will just close it, which is fine. Because I've taught you how to verify. You know that, and you know how to assert as well. So the whole point I'm teaching you here is how to write a BDD test. So simply, this is it. You got a feature file from work. Every steps under the scenario must be created as a method. Those are the important things you have to note. Because this man that is writing the feature file is not a doesn't know any code. It might be just a business user. It might be the business manager. It might be support analyst. They will write the feature for you based on the knowledge of BDD using feature file. They will tell you what they want, and they believe that each step should become a method. When you give them the code back as part of the deliverables, they will verify the code by going to each, given that the user is on the login page. When the user enters a valid username, and then the user enters password, so you should get this. So how do you now run this code? For us to run this code, you have to create a runner. And that runner, we created something similar before in our, what's it called? Our, when we did JUnit, yes. When we did JUnit, we created a runner class. So basically, because now we have two documents. We have a visual file. We also have the implementation. But what we want to run, we want to link them together so that this guy should be corresponding with this guy every time we are running them. So for us to do that, we need to create a visual file. We already did. If I start it now, you'll remember that we've done something similar. So all you need to do now is to create another class. Right click here, say new class, okay, and then you can call this one Yahoo login runner BDD, okay. And you don't need any main class for BDD because it's using the JUnit power. So what do we do in this particular class, okay? What do we do? Everything that we need to do is on top of the class. We don't need anything inside the class at all. So on top of the class, you use the word you use the annotation at run with. We used it before in JUnit. At run with, okay. So when you say run with, okay, another thing. You import the run with, okay, from JUnit, and then you put open and close. What are we running with? We are running with Cucumber. Remember, this is Cucumber now. All these tests that we created, this feature file is Cucumber. This guy here is also Cucumber. All these things that we imported, you can see the given, the when, the then, the hand, they are from Cucumber API. So what we are running in the feature file, in the run with, is run with Cucumber dot class. Okay, that's what you put there in the first line. Then second line, you now use the Cucumber option itself. You say at Cucumber options. So inside the Cucumber option, what will be there? Number one thing that will be there, okay, is what we call features. It will ask you, which feature are you running? So we tell it, it will say which features. So the features will be equals to features because our file here is also features. Our file here is features. So we'll go and look for the Yahoo thing there. So let's double code that, I think, if I'm correct. Features. Okay. And then we use comma to separate that functionality. And then we now need the glue. So they call it glue. So the glue that we match the feature to implementation. So you now say use the curly braces for this one. And then glue, actually before that, glue equals curly braces, and then exactly the name. Let's hold on. actually. Step implementations. So I think we specified the name of the folder. Let me do the folder first. It should be here. Let's just say BDD first. BDD. If it doesn't work, we'll come back and sort it. And then we close that. So Cucumber options, we have to import that too. Okay. So let's try to run this guy and see what happens. So let me explain again. For you to run a Cucumber a BDD framework, three things is essential. Essential rather. Number one is the feature file, because the feature file is like the requirement that tells you what to do exactly, and it can be written by anybody. If you are applying to a BDD company, be 90% sure that you're going to be asked to write a feature file. They will give you a scenario, and they will ask you to convert it to a feature file. So you have to go and practice that a little bit. Anywhere you're applying and you see BDD, go back to this particular video or anything you have written down from the video. And then you now convert this requirement into implementations, okay? You now work on them. So basically you are trying to create a scenario to achieve that result. So, but every steps must be created as a method separately. And then you now glue them together. So you glue them by saying where the feature file is. The feature file is here. And then the implementation step, you say where it is. It is also inside the BDD folder package. So let's see if it will pick up. If it doesn't pick up, I will specify the name of the file itself. But I believe it should pick up. So now we run this particular test. So run as JUnit. So let's see what happened. Okay, so that is working. That is very beautiful. That is stuck. I will find out why. So let's analyze our results. Anyway, the glue worked because it picked up the test. So what happened here is that our first scenario passed, the given passed. So you open the Yahoo login page. Okay. And the second scenario also passed. But the password didn't pass. The reason why, I think I can guess. Okay. What happened is that we didn't complete the test. If you look at the actual test that we did before, when we enter the username, we need to click on the click button first before we enter password. I didn't do that. So let's go back to our test here. So after username, click on the click button. Okay, and then after, I hope you understand what I mean there. So after the password 2, you need to click on the login button. So I'm going to run this particular guy again and see what's going to happen. Okay, so basically our test is incomplete as well. I don't know why I'm in a hurry. So we didn't complete it as well again. Once we click, we need to also click on the inbox icon. Those of us who are with me at the beginning, from the beginning, you should already know that we need to do those things. But I know that all of us are tired tonight. But I'm glad that we made it to the very end. So once the test run, we'll finish our topic. And I'll show us one or more two things. And we'll go. Okay, that is successful, as we can see. From the JE report, you can see that all the steps they all passed. So, and then if you give this to, don't forget, when you're implementing it, you can implement the take screenshot as well. The only difference is that the way we implement it in Cucumber is different. So it's 2 steps. So I hope that is very clear. So in Cucumber, feature file is very, very essential. It's like the requirement. And then the way you create those features is like this, by specifying their method name. And then you do your coding inside. And then you create a runner, specify the folder where they are. And that should be it. That's BDD for you, okay? So in BDD, there's no confusion. Every language is clear. It's plain English, Gherkin syntax. I will send you the syntax, all the syntax. I can already copy you and you saw it. I will send it to you. Okay, any question on BDD? Guys, any question on BDD? No? Are we still here? Good, no question. That means it's clear. Right, so there's one more topic, because I said it, and I don't want to, I'm not going to pretend. I will tell you what's going to happen with that topic. Don't be scared, there's no more extra class. There's no time for me either. I'd love to. No, won't be having it. So what we are going to happen is that I will go through the slide with you. So I've taught you these topics in their order of importance, okay? If you are looking for a job, maybe some of you already have gone to JobServe to check some few testing roles. You would have seen what they want. Selenium WebDriver is always the key, and they talk about the language, which is either Java or C#. And they talk about BDD a lot these days. A lot, actually a lot. I've seen people, many students come back to me to help them with their official files. The least important topic, you will never find it actually in one of the requirements that they're looking for. You can find it sometimes, but very, 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 very least. But it's good for you to know it. Also, it's good because it's a very efficient way of, if you are working with a stable application. For example, if you are testing an application that doesn't change, like a domain that doesn't change too often, you can't use POM for eBay. You can't use POM for, you can use it for Argos, because Argos website is, what is changing there is the number of stock, availability of stock. But in eBay, people can post things that anybody can sell anything. People sell unbelievable things on eBay. So there's no way you are going to create an object repository of something that can change. So what is an object? What is a POM? Let's go over it very quickly. I'm not going to write the codes, like I said. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to, because if I want to do the POM, I will need another 2 hours, which is not suitable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the slide with you. I'm going to send you the slide tonight, and I'm going to ask WJ to send you the video of POM from December batch, which is just 3 months ago. It's me. The same standard. You're going to understand it. It's a boring lecture because of the amount of code. Tonight, I'm very sure that some of you, when I was writing all this this feature file is even simple. All of it is simple, but the way we wrote our BDD, kind of funny syntaxes. It was a bit quiet then. Some of you are yawning. I can hear it from here. So the same way is the POM. The POM is boring to type out, but it's very sweet to use. Let me open the website to make a very, very good example of a POM methodology. Okay, what is POM? POM is Page Object Model. You can read more on it. Page Object Model. It can be used in Selenium. It can be used in QTP, whatever. So what does that mean? Let me use my favorite. Not favorite, but I'll use an example. But let me close this one. Watch it, damn it. Page Object Model. Okay. So Page Object Model is also a framework on its own, but it's impossible to use that alone. You have to mix it with something else. So Page Object Method is something that we use to create object repository. What's a repository? A repository is a storage. Basically, it's a storage. It's a place where you store something. But what are you storing in POM? You are storing user interface elements. So under this module, for each web page in the application, there should be a corresponding page. This page class will find the web element and also contain page method which perform operation on those elements. This is a lot of English, I know, but I will explain. I'll break it down. Because why would you use POM? Because it's easily maintainable, and I will tell you what that means exactly. Let me show you by example. Now, you're being employed by Argos. This is Argos website. I know that sometimes they can do a major change, but in most cases, at least for over a year or 2 years, they have been using this example. This website haven't changed at all. Well, the only thing that changes is the advert that they have here, for example. So every day that you want to write your own test, my dear students, it will be very, very painful for you to be looking for this element all the time. You know that when we do our test, our Yahoo test, we will right click on clothing, that is it, for example. We will say inspect element or F12, and then you begin to do speaker. Okay, this speaker, you will then begin to select elements, health and beauty, and then you will copy it. Another day you want to write the test that has to do with health and beauty, you will do the same thing. Every time. That is very, very boring. In POM, what we do is I will create a repo, a shelf, a storage, a container And what are we going to have in that container? We are going to create each page. We store them. You know that when you go to the library, the books are stored in alphabetical order, like A to Z or types. They can find it by the catalog. Once you tell them, they will tell you which shelf it is. So you say Argos home page. On the home page, you now create technology itself as a object. So how do you do that? You right click it, inspect it, say define element, define this particular technology. You put it there. You create home and garden, you put it there. You create baby and nursery, you put it there. You create toy, you put it there. So you create everything that is here, sign in, join, wish list. You create all these things, you keep them there on the home page. You don't touch these ones. Everybody loves this. These ones are adverts. They will change. When you do that, you now go to technology page itself. You will create each element and you store them in the element page. So how is that useful? Anytime when you're not writing your test, a particular test, maybe you're writing a test to search for television and accessories, you don't need to start from the beginning to be looking for a home page, looking for technology. All you have to do is to create an instance. You go to the repo and just use the technology, use the television. So when you go to the home page, you see the technology, you pick it from there. When you go to the repository, you will find the technology and everything that belongs to it. You just pick TV from there. Everything is already there. Every time you're writing a test, it becomes quicker, it becomes faster. You've created those. I don't know if that makes any sense. You've created those each links, each item on the page as a object already. You keep them there. And then when you're writing your test, it's easy. You just go back there, pick them. Go back there, pick them. This is what we call page object modeling. So you create a page for technology and all its children. Home garden and all its children. So you don't have to be looking for the element every time you're writing your test. The element is already in the repo. All you have to go is call it into your test. And how we do that? The video will be sent to you by WJ. So we split our test script from our page class. So the page will contain the elements. The way we create that element, the way we can use it, you will now see in that video. That is POM for you. POM is the list of your trouble. But if you can know it, that will be great. Okay? Is that clear as well, my people? Hello? Is that clear? Is that okay? Okay, only one answer. Anyway, that is that. So the last thing that I'm going to touch before we go to general advice is what we call Obus. Number 2 is not clear. I don't understand. What's number 2? The second lecture. You are not in the first lecture even, Obus. You came very, very late today. Maybe that's why. But can you be specific? And I'll try to do justice. So what I'm going to touch now is the Maven project. I remember the last class we were talking about Maven. Maven is nothing but a way to create Java projects, okay? Remember that, look at the ones I have here. All these folders that you see here, they are Java projects. How do I create them? So when at the beginning, I go to File, I say New, and I say Java projects, okay? Java projects. So Java projects, testing. I'm just creating this for this purpose, okay? Testing, and I say finish. See, I have another class here. I have another. So what would not happen is that this Java project, yes, automatically he imports the Java SC library. However, every time I want to use other software, I have to go to the build part, and then I have to go to configure build part, and then I have to be importing those things. I will be saying add external jars, and I'll be adding everything by jar. Okay, that is the difference. That's the main difference between those two classes. So the same way I create the Java project, I can create it. I can come here to the top, and I'll say new. This is why I'm coming to the top, is that if I click on anything here and I create a project inside, that's not good. You'll be creating a project inside a project. So anytime you're creating a project, come to the top of the file. Don't click on any other project. Come out of it and go to the top level and say new. And then you say now, instead of Java project, go to others, because Maven is not there. Just say others, and then go to Maven, okay? And then say Maven project, okay? So just create a simple one. Yes, that's fine. And then go on, give it a name. So anyway, so it's asking you for an ID. You can give it any ID. You can call it testing. Let's say 1 or 001 or project 1. Artifact ID testing. You can call it anything, basically anything you want. You can give it a name. You can describe it. If you have another project that you are linking it to, link it. So the difference between this file, do you want to use jar again? Usually, typically, we use POM for Maven, POM, and then you say finish. Okay. I have another one that has a similar name, so let's just start from beginning. So now you can see that the folder, they look similar. The only difference here, you see that this one has a little M at the top. So this is Maven project. So the difference is that in the Java project, you have a source, yes, and then those source, you also have all the software that you use. They will be appearing there. So for example, for a bash, you have a long list of things. You have JUnit software, TestNG software, all the other reference libraries. But in Maven, all you have, you see, the Maven dependencies. This POM is a very powerful thing. If you click on it, hold on. If you go to the POM and you go to POM XML, yes, you will see you already put JUnit for you there automatically. And if you want any dependencies, again, for example, this is the big difference between POM. If you go to the MVN repository that we went before, where we got the Gherkin, for example. So instead of it to be downloading the Gherkin, yes, you know that we downloaded everything and put it in our folder. You don't have to do that for Maven. All you have to do is copy this guy here. See, go to the Maven column. Make sure it's Maven. Don't go to Gradle. Go to Maven. Just copy from group ID, scope, If you copy that bit, okay, and you go back to your project, in the dependencies column, just create another dependency. Don't mix it together with other dependency. Don't put it together with another with JUnit, for example. Create another word like that. Bracket. This guy. Dependency. Yeah. Okay, and then paste that in there. So what happened now is that instead of us to download the entire software on our project, we don't need to. We just need to tell Maven that this is what we are using. Then Maven will go and find, every time we are using it, Maven will go ahead and find it and put it here. The same thing go for the standalone server. If you come to this MVN, okay, MVN, okay, MVN. Actually, okay, I don't intend to even open this one, but just go to this website, all of you, and read more about the Maven project itself. What is that Maven and how it works? So, for example, the standalone server, Selenium standalone. You can also just come here. You know, we went to Selenium and download it. You can just click on the Selenium itself, okay, and then just go to the Maven. Copy the Maven. Instead of you to have that folder, that software on your computer, you can just go to that project, okay, and tell this guy here and say, listen, out of my dependencies, I want standalone as well. That's it. That's it. That's it. It will put it there for you. What's the problem with this? Let me copy that and paste it. Yep. So that's it. That's how you do a Maven project, okay? You basically copy those elements instead of downloading it, you copy their Maven code and put them in the pom.sml folder. Any software that you need, as much as you need them, copy all of them and put them there, okay? And then you'll be able to use them inside the software without having to download them in person. And then, just like every other project, you can just right click in the source folder and create your test. Just say new and new class, just like normal. The only difference between Maven and Java project is that Maven don't require that you download the software. Maven will download it for you whenever you need to use them. But in Java project, you have to download every software and link them to your test. And you can read more of Maven from that link that I sent to you guys, okay? So that is Maven for you. So guys, here we are at the end of our lecture. Obus, you didn't specify what is not clear, so I presume that maybe you understand now. So congratulations to everyone. It's not easy. Even when you go to university, you don't learn every day like this. You don't learn on Saturday, and you don't learn every day. This information are very, very, very high level, and most of us, we are working, have been there, we have families. So I want to encourage you that I'm not teaching you from a teacher perspective. I'm teaching you from a student perspective, as somebody who was once part of you. as 2015 December, I was a student studying like this as well. So I haven't gone through it myself, and where I am today, I know that it is possible. So this is my encouragement. Before you start applying for jobs, some of you will be in a hurry. Yes, we are all different in life. Some people have superpowers. They can fly. Other people can only walk, and they can walk faster. Some people can walk slowly. Some people can just crawl, And some people, they want to sit down and be pushed. The most important thing is that we just have to keep moving. Either we want to fly or run. But from my own experience, I will encourage you, after the whole lectures, have you finished your ISTQB classes, or is it still going on? Okay, it's finished, that's good. So, the people that follow this advice, this is a tested method, and it's worked for many people. Go over. If it's going to take you 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it doesn't matter. From the beginning to the end, go over your lectures again. It is very, very essential. Go over them, make your notes. Make sure that they stick at least 50% in your head. And your Selenium, go over them. Go over the Selenium. It's very, very important. Recreate everything that we have been taught, everything that we know, because in most jobs, they won't let you create any framework or any code. They'll just ask you questions, basically. Or they will give you homework that you can go and do at home and manipulate. But some jobs, they will come for interview. They will give you system. And they will say, okay, this is the situation. Write some code. They don't expect you to be 100%, of course. But you have to find your way. Imagine if you are there and you can't even open a browser on the site, on the client site during interview. You are already in trouble. Okay? So, go over them, prepare yourself properly before you begin to apply. Prepare yourself. Get ready, have confidence. And don't be shy to apply. Application also is a learning process. Interview is a learning process. Some people will get it right once. Some people have to get it right 10 times. But every time you go for interview and you don't make it, all you have to do is to reflect on why you think it's not gone well. And work on those things. Don't be discouraged, please. Don't say, some of you will get job very, very soon. I don't know who. And it's not because you are clever or smart. Sometimes time and chance just happen to everything. It's not because we are the most intelligent people or we are the most smartest people. Sometimes it's just luck. And sometimes it's because we deserve it. However, we all operate in different time zones. Okay? Don't be discouraged. Please. I beg you, this effort cannot go to waste. If this job is not lucrative, we won't be wasting our time teaching you. Trust me. Go to Jobs alone. See how many jobs they posted today. On your own phone, how many software did they update today alone? How many applications have been updated every day? Do you know that before they can update it and release it for public, they need to test it again? Who is testing them? People like you and me. Our job is in high demand. Even though we are paid a lot of money, it's the most easiest route into IT. If you want to become a computer analyst, for example, or IT assistant, you cannot cowboy your way inside that one, or networking. You can't cowboy your way inside networking. But you see, testing gave us opportunity. Me, I'm not coming from any IT background, and here I am today. So guys, I encourage you, please, don't be discouraged. You will face a lot of things that will say, okay, you know what, let me go back to my K job, or whatever we are doing. But I'm telling you, I know somebody, I won't mention her name, I will give her confidentiality. Last 2 weeks Monday, she contacted me from nowhere. I didn't know her before. She finished January 2017. No, 2018. It's a year ago, over a year ago, yes. And then she's looking for a job. She's not a young person. She's over 40 something. And she was already giving up. But she kept trying it. After January, everybody's motivated. After you go for that New Year shout, you feel like your life can still go better. And she got a job. Even the jobs that she got, she was scared because they asked her to come and introduce automation. But luckily for her now, the company has money. They don't want to waste time to be building framework. So they are using Catalan. Catalan is already built application that is easy. But this woman is contacting me almost every day, and I'm happy to help. Sometimes I answer her late, sometimes I answer immediately. It's just if I'm available, I don't mind. I can respond to you in 5 seconds. And if it takes 5 days, it just means in these 5 days. I can't see it and ignore it. That's not me. So what am I saying is that after 1 year, 3 months, you still got a job, as an automation tester. So I don't know how long it's going to take for you, but what I know is that you can make it, and you have it in you. If you can make it today, you have it in you. Guys, I have compiled some few Selenium specific interview questions. WJ is going to send it to you guys, okay? And then you can go through them. After you revise, finish your lectures first. Don't mix them together. It's a lot of things to take in. If you try to do them together, you might not be able to assimilate something tangible, okay? And then what again? Number 2, I don't know if you have been on our forum. We have a Google group that Steve created. There's a manual one, there's a automation one. If you're not there yet, give WJ a message to invite you to the Google group. The Google group is very good, very, very efficient. And the reason why I encourage us to go there is because already there are some, if you type some situations, some question there. For example, if you type in how to install Selenium WebDriver, you can find question that we already helped somebody there before, and you can use it for your own situation. When we help as an individual, that solution is not available to other people. But when it's in the group, you can always use it and reuse it. And then when you come to me alone, your option is limited to me alone. But if you go to the Google group, at least I can boast that you have 1,000 students that are willing to help you, as long as they can help. Even when you are in interview, if you are going for interview in a company, just go there and say, please, I'm having an interview tomorrow at social company. Has anybody been interviewed there before or working there? Please help me. My name is Kudirat. This is my number. Before you know it, you have 5, 10 calls. This is how we've been helping each other. So that group is very, very important. That is the biggest source of help. Okay? So if you're not there yet, message WJ and say, please add me to the Google group. What else?